And I remember he said, come here, work with me. It wasn't like one-on-one, but he's just like, come here and we'll work with you and we'll get you, your body will heal if you give it time. And so I thought, all right.
This was around 2014.
This was April of 2014.
I had just had Isla.
Yes.
You told me that. You were like, oh, is this what people look like that work out here? I just had a baby.
I went and he goes, come in. And I didn't know they were married. And he goes, come into the class tomorrow and take a free class. And I said, cool. And I walked in and she had just had the kid. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, the coaches look like this? I didn't know that she'd had a kid.
You suck, Jay.
This is Lee Hargrave, Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist, former rocket scientist, and I have my finger on the mute button.
This is Isis Hargrave, Certified OPEX Coach Nutrition Guru, and I'm part of the problem.
And this is Adonys Wright, CFL L2, and head coach at enduraLAB. How about them Cowboys?
Let's go.
And you've reached the enduraLAB podcast, where we dive into the science behind fitness,
the ins and outs of better health,
and lifestyle strategies to help you live your best life.
Today we've got someone the lab knows very well. He's strong, he's loud, and he's been known to, how do we put this, walk the fine line of appropriateness.
Yep, and that's why we have a safe word for him. We say panda, and
Yeah,
we'll go
panda,
more
panda,
into
panda.
that. Yeah, we'll go more into that later.
If we had the rights to the designer song, that would be great.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But when we say panda, it means
Cut it out.
Cut it. Yeah, we'll go more into that. But as some of you may know, September is National Recovery Month, and we've worked with a lot of athletes that have battled excessive use of substances or may have been affected by them in some way. So today we're going to discuss with one of our members his journey, leaving all of that behind, and how fitness played a role in that, as well as laughter.
Yeah, he's been a member with us for over 10 years and has the tattoo to show for it. Is an entrepreneur.
Oh
yeah, we'll go into that story.
I got to see that.
He's an entrepreneur. He's currently getting his MBA at TCU.
Go Frogs.
And always keeps the noon class on their toes.
Yes, he does. Yes,
Welcome to the show, Jay Bjorklund.
Woo! What's going on, man?
Thank you. I was told there was going to be high school cheerleaders here, and that's how I got drug into
that
this.
corner over there, you got a little something for
Nice. All right.
Yeah, Matt brought that in for you special.
you. Yeah, it's already greased up.
I think that makes us Eskimo brothers if we both use that. And can I call this Adonys for the...
Yeah, just give me a nice little tickle.
Nice and close
I'm
to the
going to
mic.
initiate him.
Yeah, there you go.
So you didn't know Jay had a tattoo?
No, I didn't. No, I knew about the panda thing, but I didn't know about the tattoo. Where is this tattoo at? Can you show it live on camera?
I can't.
Oh, he'll show it.
I can't show it.
Yeah, I know he'll show it.
It's on the left butt cheek.
Okay.
I told Lee years ago, I guess Lee and Isis, and had said, when I hit my 10 year, if you want to pay for it, I'll get the beaker tattooed.
Oh, yeah.
So
Hell yeah.
we went on, I think it was April 3rd, which was my 10 year, with the day of, and went and got it tattooed.
And it's the
in
beaker.
the name of science.
Yeah.
In the name of science.
In the name of science.
Or what is it? The round bottom flask.
Yeah.
No, but the term panda came. So one time I was doing a gym tour and I was bringing a new person around the gym, and Jay loves to take songs and put his own spin on them that are usually inappropriate.
Yeah.
And it was like, let's groove tonight or something like.
It was Kanye West.
No.
It was.
I swear it was like,
I'm
let's
sure
groove.
Lost Tonight.
I bet Jay remembers. Yeah.
Yeah.
How's it go?
It was like, you can get lost tonight. You can see my tonight.
Okay. We'll beep that out.
That's panda.
Panda. But yeah, so I'm bringing this woman around, and I'm like, yeah, so here's, the group side, and Jay is singing this at like the top of his lungs, like he's in his own zone. And I was like, okay, this can't happen. Like, I need to be able to be like, hey, panda. Like, so, and then some things there's a scale of intensity, right? And so some things may be okay to say, and I'll just be like, hey, like, panda, we have a new person here. But then like he'll say something like really bad, and I have to be like, Panda Express. Like, it needs to be like completely cut off, because he'll like kind of back off a little bit, but he'll still be talking about whatever it is.
Yeah,
I'm like, no.
I learned what if we could say it, if this needs to be cut too. But the floppy
Flappy.
Flappy. That's what Flappy. And I was just like, wait, what are y'all talking about? And he was like, yeah, we just, call my wife Flappy. And I was just like, yo, what is going on right now? And so I thought they were just like making fun of his wife. And
I think that can make the cut. No?
Yeah. We'll see what she says.
She knows about it.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So that was my introduction to Jay as well. So yeah, wild card for sure.
Yeah.
But now it's like carried on with him, and it's an endearing term. And I think other people wish they kind of had that safe word or that,
And there's an emoji for it too, which works every time when you ask questions on the social feed. I can just hit panda.
Exactly.
Right.
And they know it's you. And then we've even had like teams where you've been the captain and you've had Panda Express, Pandemonium. It's been fun.
Yeah.
So it's endearing. It's my favorite animal. That's why I gave you, because you're one of my favorites, even though you're really inappropriate.
Yeah, so for those of you who may not know Jay, surely most of the members have met Jay or have heard at least the folklore of Jay. But Jay's a huge comic book guy, right? So let's start with your origin story.
Okay.
So like walk us back before the lab, before the gains, like what life was, and then coming into the gym.
Basically, it was a lot of excessive partying. I ran a club. I bartended for a long time. Started at a restaurant. Moved up, started doing nightclubs, went to some other bars over a period of time.
So you were like the bartender, everything, like bouncer, like what were you?
Was that all here in Fort Worth too, or were you kind of bouncing back between?
I started in Arlington, came out to Fort Worth, and then I was the general manager of a club, and they let me bartend on the weekends.
Okay.
So I could make extra money. So it was nice because I had a salary and I got cash.
Fun money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I had the means to do whatever I wanted on my days off, go around. Every time we'd have days off, or if the bar would close early, we'd go, bar hop, and everybody knows who you are, and so everybody's hooking you up with drinks.
Yep,
and
I've lived that life.
A lot of partying, and so
that's how I met Lee.
I was gonna say, I used to be a bar bag bartender. I was a waiter, line cook. I've been a door guy at a bar, so I know the lifestyle, in my younger years. But yeah, no, I definitely.
Well, and one of the problems is there's always somebody that wants to go out. There's never a night where it's just quiet.
Yeah.
And so if you get caught up in that, you always feel like you're missing out on something. It's almost like FOMO before social media.
But also for the service industry, it's like you have to work like Thursday, Friday, Saturday are going to be your big days. So during that first beginning of the week, you have those first 2 days off. So it's like, those are my days to go out when everybody else that are regular working folk, they're like, well, what are you doing going out? And they think that it's so bad. It's like, well, I've worked all weekend when you guys are having fun. I've been serving you.
Yep.
But now it's like, I need to have fun. This is Jay's time.
Yep.
Well, and speaking of underage, Lee.
Whoa, hey.
When he met me, he didn't know that in Texas you could bartend and be under 21. And so I was underage.
Fox and the Hound, right? Off of Brian Irving. Yeah, I've been there a couple times.
We worked there. I didn't work there with you, but I worked at that one as well for a short time.
That's such a fun place to work.
Yeah, pool tables were nice.
Yeah.
And the shuffleboard.
Shuffleboard. Yeah, that's old people stuff, man.
Wow.
But yeah, like you said, I think it is like you can get easily wrapped into that culture. Yep. And I mean, especially being young and not having a lot of responsibilities at that time. I remember I wanted to just like have a break sometimes, and I'd get pissed because some of the people were like smokers. So they get to go out and have a cigarette and get a break. Right. I wasn't a smoker. So I was like, I want a cigarette. So I can go have 15, 20 minutes to myself, which is not like a great direction to go. Right. And so, yeah.
That was a bad compromise. It was like, I just want a break. I'm gonna start smoking cigarettes.
Yeah,
but that's a part of the lifestyle, like being in the service industry. Yeah.
And as a parent, like that's one thing that I know that it's good for your kids to have a job, but I really want my daughter to stay away from the service industry because I know what goes on there.
It's tough.
And I know that it's very toxic.
Late nights.
A lot of people can't get away from it because of how easy the money is. There's not a lot of room for progress or moving up a ladder of any sort, but the money's good for what it is. And so it's very difficult to get away from that. And so you don't want your kids to get in there and get drugged down. So.
Yeah. But how did we get into comic books though? How did that lead into? Just
as a kid, I enjoyed, I don't know. I wasn't in sports when I was younger, just enjoyed collecting comic books. I think it was 6th grade. I really got into them and enjoyed action figures and toys. And then I got to a point where I would not open my toys. And I would hang them on the wall as like wallpaper.
Yeah, saving the value.
Saving the value.
Yeah.
And
Next to your Beanie Babies.
Next to my Beanie
Hey,
Babies.
I got Beanie Babies still, so
I
like
did.
I'm not even
Beanie
I'm not even
Babies
gonna
were
front on that.
awesome.
I was talking to Brad last night, and his kids brought like Pokemon cards, and like I still have my Pokemon cards in the sleeves. I got like Japanese holographic ones, so I did a little bit
Did
of
you
that.
have Pogs?
I did. I had the first.
wow.
I still have it. The first set of Pogs ever made in the in the continental United States. It was Death of Superman Pogs.
Yeah.
They're worthless now. Did you know what Pog stands for?
No.
Pogs. It's pineapple.
Wait, PA.
Or no, yeah.
PAWG.
It's an
Oh, okay.
acronym for, I think it's
Different.
pineapple,
Do I wanna
orange,
know?
guava.
Yeah, you don't want to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, the
you don't know
juice.
the-
It's the
Pog
juices.
juice.
Yeah.
You don't wanna know my Pog.
That's what they call it. They're drinks. The caps that were on the drinks, they were called Pogs. It was a combination of the three juices. What do
I was like, what
No,
do you?
I said Pogs as in PAWG.
Jay takes a drink of his Topo
That's right.
Chico.
That's what I'm known for. Anyways, so yeah, I had Pogs, got into comic books. Just I didn't really turn it into a business. I was more of a hoarder until COVID. And then when things began to rise astronomically, that's when I really started studying collectible finance, how these markets move, how they move with nostalgia, how they move with aging populations, and really started to kind of fine tune that because there's so many people that get caught up in the hype. And, you want to sell into the hype. You want to buy early if you can see trends coming. And you're basically market manipulation is all it is.
So, what are your thoughts about the Labubus now?
It's a Beanie Baby.
Beanie Baby, yeah, okay.
People,
Ugly Beanie Baby.
they are. Beanie Babies were big for like 6 or 7 years, and a lot of people put their entire life savings in it because they thought it was going to go on forever because it went on for years. But the bubble will always pop. It's based on mass-produced scarcity. So the Labubus may run for a year, they may run for 5 years, but eventually that bubble will pop. So
You sound so smart, Jay. Were you
you.
always smart, even when you were like doing whatever you were doing in the
no,
clubs?
I was smart I graduated top 10% of my class in high school, which I know it's high school, and then I got to college, and when I began partying, that all went away.
I would say that you're a very, very smart individual. It's just like the application of where you're putting that smartness into is,
Yeah.
I always think that, they even say like some of the best criminals in the world are geniuses, but
Yeah.
it's just like they're applying all their smarts to like find loopholes in systems.
Jordan Belfort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep.
You're,
Okay, so taking it back though, before like kind of you're in work, you're bartending, you're doing all this stuff, you're a manager of a club or GM of a club. Like how describe like to the depths
Uh-oh.
that you were like, and up until when, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
give us like your work day going into like if you went
you
out
weren't
that
even-
night.
Yeah, I guess.
So when I started bartending at Saltgrass, like the shift would always start at 4 and it would end at 10, or we'd close at 10 and then I'd get out by 11. So then it was go to the bar, hang out till 2 a.m, leave, go home and drink or party or whatever you were doing, go to bed at 4 or 5, get up at 2 p.m, rinse and repeat, and did that for like 5 years. Even during school. Half the time it was awful. I never went to class. That's why it took me 7 years. When I started running the club, we were basically open. I think it was Wednesday through Sunday. I bartended Fridays and Saturdays, but I was doing other stuff during the week with them. And then there was a sushi restaurant that I helped them with their, helped them manage a sushi restaurant called Ronin, which is where Sushi Axiom is in Montgomery Plaza. I helped them do that.
Okay.
And then we had a deli that we ran a card game out of. Originally, it was above Fox and the Hound in Fort Worth at the Crest, but we moved it to a deli off Sylvania called the White Eagle Deli. So I began working where it was.
White Eagle Deli.
Yeah. You know where that is?
No.
Oh, it's off Sylvania and 121.
Yeah.
And so
Nice.
basically, I was there at the deli from like 6 a.m. till 2 every day. And then 3 nights a week, we'd have a poker game that would start at 7 p.m. and go till like 4 or 5 in the morning. And then I'd have the club on Fridays and Saturdays that I was bartending and doing liquor orders for. And then Tuesday nights, I also had the Ronin that I was doing. So I was working literally like 80 hours a week.
That's
I
crazy.
just had a kid. And so I started turning to substances to stay awake. I had always partied, but it really became excessive probably 2006, 2007. Was probably doing about $500 a week in coke. And then waking up at 6, 7 in the morning to run the deli and would start shooting vodka. If you've ever seen Leaving Las Vegas with Nicolas Cage driving with the bottle, that was like that. I mean, I would wake
Some
up.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She likes
Oh,
Nicolas
Nick
Cage.
Cage, yeah.
Nicolas Cage.
She likes you like Con Air Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember this movie, but I'll have to watch it. Okay.
So,
Okay.
anyway,
Now she's interested.
so just, yeah.
I gotta see it now.
So, did that, was getting run into the ground. The only day that I had off was all day Sundays. And I'd go see my kid. I'd drive out to Grand Prairie to see her, and then I would sleep or my parents would have her in Arlington, and I would sleep all day. So all the pictures I have of her first 2 or 3 years are me on the couch asleep, and she's like laying on top of me. And so got out of that, went to Arlington to get into the bar business with a buddy of mine. Did that. Well, I began dating my wife at a point during all this and decided, okay, I'm going to settle down and get married. Decided that most of the people in the service industry that I had met that had gotten married did not stay married. And so I thought, if I'm going to actually take the time to get married, I'm going to give it the best shot. So I was able to pull out of the bar business, had some means to get out of it, got out of it, but I had all this extra time on my hands and I was so used to the lifestyle. And so that basically just translated where instead of the times that I was working, normally I had this time off. So I just started partying and drinking that much earlier.
Yeah. You just started doing it more, filling that void. Right.
It was like 7 o'clock, then 6 o'clock, then 5 o'clock. And then I got to the point where I'd get up at noon and I'd just start pounding vodka. And at one point I was drinking a 1.75 of Svedka every day to day and a half.
Did you feel that? Or was it just like second?
It's normal.
It was normal. It was crazy.
You build up a tolerance for it.
Yeah. And
but I wondered if you were you were mindful of it. Like you knew man, I'm not really in that lifestyle anymore, but I'm going to continue doing it. You know what I mean?
I was sitting around just kind of watching TV. Like I didn't have anything to do. And like I said, I had the means to do it. The wife was at work. I didn't have anybody that was really on me. She would come home sometimes to get mad at me because the dishes hadn't been put away or something. She's like, I don't ask you to do a lot. I'd be blackout drunk on the couch by the time she'd get home. She'd go get dinner. I was aware of it, but I don't know if I was depressed or I wasn't sure which direction to go. And so basically I just drank myself into a stupor for about a year and a half, That started in April. We got married. In July, I began having panic attacks because of the amount of excessive alcohol that I was drinking. And from the research that I've done, you have what's called GABA receptors in your brain. And as you drink alcohol, it suppresses. And when you stop, they basically blow off like a gun. And so I began drinking to keep those receptors muted. I didn't realize that alcohol was the problem. I thought I had another underlying issue. And so I just kept drinking to keep me. I'd wake up and I'd have the shakes. And I never had the clarity to be like, oh, this is causing it.
And also doing a lot of that cocaine, that's going to affect your dopamine receptors as well, because it's like you're feeding that dopamine, but once that's gone, it's like, oh shit, now I had that come down.
Yep.
And then it's like, I got to be happy again. So that's start doing coke more.
Start chasing it. And then I got to the point to where I was mixing Xanax with Coke or with Xanax with alcohol or trying to do weed. I was trying to find what can I do that will offset the way that I feel. And so, I got hit by a car one night. My wife found me in the parking lot of the Dirty Crow.
On 7th Street. The Dirty Crow. On 7th Street. That's right down the road.
I got hit by a car one night. One night I had a gun in a hotel room that a revolver that I was spinning around in front of my brother and stuff I don't remember, crazy stuff. And so my wife finally came to me. She found me on the roof. I was sunbathing in Crisco. No,
that works. I'm sorry. I would do that as a teenager.
I woke up with slamming vodka, took a Xanax. She came home. The neighbor came home, Molly. And I remember her seeing me, and I was laying on the roof, and I was like, what's up? And she's like, oh, my God. She goes inside. Then my wife pulls up, and I guess she can tell the story better, but she saw the ladder. Yeah. She's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just sunbathing, and I had Crisco on me. And she's like, I got to take a break. So she left, went to her friend's house. And she's like, I didn't sign up for this. I hadn't eaten in 3 days. And she's like, I didn't sign up for this. If you don't fix this, I'm out. And so I ended up going to the doctor, and the doctor ran a blood test, and I think it's AST and ALT liver enzymes were 300 to 400 through the roof. And I said, oh my gosh, is that cancer? Because I still hadn't realized that the alcohol was causing the problems. I thought there was an underlying condition that was causing the panic attacks and the shakes. And she's like, you need to go see rehab. You need to go AA. You need to go do something. This is all alcohol induced. So I went and got a liver biopsy. And the doctor, she was like, hey, listen, she's like, I've seen this with a lot of people your age. I've got a lot of sick kids that are your age. And she's like, I was 34, I believe, 33 or 34 at the time. And she said, you're done at 39 tops if you keep this up. And I said, okay. The thing was, I went in and had the liver biopsy. I threw up when they stuck the needle in me because I was so nauseous from getting drunk the night before. Went home. She's like, don't do anything. So it's an open wound. They puncture you under I think it's your first or second rib, and then they cover it up. And I went home, immediately went to the vodka, started drinking vodka. I would take vodka, fill up a Tervis cup with it, a splash of water, and then squirt Mio. That was my thing. And at one point I was like, well, maybe it's the Mio causing me to feel sick.
It's always,
It's like always something else that's not
it
the
was something
thing.
else. So I switched from Mio to
gotta be the
Kool-Aid.
Mio.
I switched from the Mios to the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
I told Lacey, I was like, I think I figured out what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
She's like, what? I'm like, it's the Mio.
Yeah.
I need to switch to Kool-Aid.
What did she, when you said that to her, what did she look? She was
I'm
just
sure she's like,
are you serious?
Yeah, God bless her. She should have left way before we ever got to this point. And so, ended up, she's like, hey, I'm going to sign up to do a Tough Mudder. That was the thing. And she goes, let's get you signed up for a Tough Mudder. And I said, okay. So that liver biopsy, I believe, was in January. I continued this into the summer. And then my wife was like, we need to sign up for a Tough Mudder. Maybe that'll get you going. And it was like September, or October is when the Tough Mudder was. I think September, I was sitting on the couch, and there had been a couple more instances. And she was like, I'm done. Like, I can't do this. And I'm like, you signed up for this. Till death do us part. Yeah.
Sickness
Better
and
for
hell.
Yeah, sickness and hell. And she's like, I'm out. And I'm like, okay. So I was just sitting on the couch one day, and this is a true story. Like, everybody that knows me knows that I'm not a liar. Like,
Brutally honest.
I just tell it how it is. I was sitting on the couch one day, and I thought, I'm just going to get up and go run a mile. Like, if I want to drink, I'm going to get up and go run. And so I got up one day, put on some running shoes, started feeling the urges, and I went and I ran a mile, what I thought was a mile, around the neighborhood.
Wait, what does that mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't
Well,
really.
no, I didn't
800
have
meters.
Yeah.
He didn't have his Garmin.
man, I was really-
yeah.
I went down to the
getting after
mailbox,
today.
took a piss, and then ran back.
Literally.
No,
Got out to the block. I was like, yeah, I don't know.
if I remember correct, I think at one point I'd either driven it. I didn't have any of the running. Like, I didn't have any gear.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't working out or anything. And so I went and ran a mile. I think I did it. Actually, if I remember correctly, I think I might have done it by the music. I think I was like, if I listened to 10 minutes of music and run,
That's cool. I like it.
That's about a mile. And so did that, and then came home and then sat on the couch. And then I was like, an hour and a half later, I was like starting to, and I was like, I'm going to go run again. And so I think the first day I might have run 2 or 3 or 4 miles. And I just did that every day and just started doing it and sticking with it. And then we had our kitchen redone, and the guy that was our contractor was working out at one of the local CrossFit gyms. And he had said, come to CrossFit with me. We do CrossFit in the mornings. Mm-hmm. I'll come get you. Went and joined that, started focusing on that. Well, I got about a month in there, and the thing about the gym there was they didn't work with me. I had no idea how to work out. Like, they just threw me in it and said, go do a pull-up, go do this. And I didn't know
There was no like on-ramp or anything like that?
Onboarding,
no
nothing.
course.
No, it was just do it.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, okay, so I don't know how to do a pull-up. Like, why do I do it? And he's like, just get up there, put a band. And anyways, I had overexerted myself within that month or whatever it was, and ended up tearing my labrum, rotator cuff, somewhere in there. Went and saw an orthopedic.
Your lab, yeah.
Yeah, my lab, yeah. And went and saw Dr. Boothby, and he had said, you need surgery. And I thought, man, I just like stopped drinking. If I go have surgery and I'm out for 6 weeks, and then I have physical therapy, and I have all these things that I have to do, I'm going to be sitting at home, and I'll probably just go back to the bottle.
Yeah, and what I was about to say was like you might have gotten pain pills, and then that would have been like another dark road.
Right.
I've heard that with people. It's like they get an injury, they get on codeine or whatever it is, and then it's like Vicodin, and then it's like I wasn't even an abuser then, but now like I have all these drugs, and then it's like you form that habit because you're sitting around not doing a lot.
And that was about the time too that I think that they really started to crack down. So I think there was an opening for that, because I don't think it started cracking down until maybe 2014, 2015, somewhere in there.
The opioid addiction really got bad. Yeah.
And so I started doing cryo, which was called the Cryo Spa, which is over off O Street. And I was talking to one of the owners, and I was like, hey, I'm trying to heal this, and I don't want to do surgery. And she said, well, why don't you go talk? There's a guy named Lee that's that's on the other building.
Thank you, Allison.
Yes. And I said, I'll give it a shot. I said, what is it? She goes, I don't know. She goes, he's really good with working with people in injuries. So I remember going in one afternoon, Lee was sitting in the office by himself, and I said, hey, this is my situation. I kind of dumped it down a little, and I said, I'm looking to focus on health, and I'm trying to get away from this, this lifestyle that I'm doing. And I said, but I've torn my rotator cuff, or is it labrum? Are they the same thing?
Yeah, you have a labrum.
Yes,
Okay.
labrum.
And hip.
And so it's been 15 years. Yeah, my leg. And so, anyways, he said, and at the time, I couldn't do 95 pounds above my head. And I remember he said, come here, work with me. It wasn't like one-on-one, but he's just like, come here and we'll work with you and we'll get you, your body will heal if you give it time. And so I thought, all right.
This was around 2014.
This was April of 2014.
I had just had Isla.
Yes.
You told me that you were like, oh, is this what people look like that work out here? I
It's
just
true.
had a baby.
I went and he goes, come in. And I didn't know they were married. And he goes, come into the class tomorrow and take a free class. And I said, cool. And I walked in and she had just had the kid. And I was like, oh, the coaches look like this? I didn't know that she'd had a kid.
You suck, Jay.
He was just like, I don't know about this. I was like, this CrossFit gym, you know, these people look like really, really fit, but like, I don't know about
I think we let Isis go after that. It wasn't too long before
I lost my job.
she went to teach after that.
That's right.
Literally, Isla was born, you came in April?
It was April.
Isla was born end
April
of
3rd.
February.
Yeah.
I was like postpartum.
I didn't know that. And it was me, and I can't remember who else was in the gym. It was two of us. But anyways.
I still love you.
And then I got to the point to where I started like really seeing gains. You know, now I can do about 270 push press. So from 95 to 270, especially as I've aged, because I didn't start working out. I mean, I would work out when I was younger. You know, you get the LA Fitness membership and you go look at yourself in the mirror and you do every day's chest day, every day's bicep day. But I never really had a plan or a regime or a protocol. And so picking up at 34, 35, whatever it was, and I'm 46 now, seeing myself be able to continually make gains, which I would have thought before I started working out would have been possible, because you think of people aging, getting weaker, or and they're not as efficient, and that's totally
We're basically the fountain of youth.
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, exercise and fitness, I mean, it really does, like, you have a biological age and you do have a fitness age. And so, like, the more you work out, the more active you are, that fitness age definitely drops down. So, that definitely, it can be a fountain of youth of how your body feels.
Now, during that time, you were still, like, drinking.
I was still drinking. I would still have my fun. But the deal was that I had with my wife was I'm going to basically be clean. But bachelor parties in Vegas,
special events,
I said,
are still on the table.
Yes, that's still on the table.
Was that when the Backstreet Boys thing happened?
Yes.
Okay.
You want to tell us about your playlist earlier?
The playlist?
Yeah, I thought you said you were listening to the Backstreet Boys in the car.
I was listening to NSYNC.
NSYNC. Sorry, NSYNC. That's what it was.
Any boy band.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Jay loves boy bands.
Love them.
Because you dance, though. Like, you were...
I was going to be a dancer. When I was in college, I was going to I was taking dance classes.
Like Magic Mike?
Yeah, and I was going to go...
Okay.
And I was going to go to... I think UNT was the one that was closest that had a dance program. But I enjoyed...
They do.
I took some classes out in Irving at a place called Knockout Fitness. There was a guy named Fenton Felgram. He toured with the #1 Michael Jackson impersonator in the world. And so I enjoyed doing anything dance. I was, this is what I want to do. But then I realized... there was no money in it. It's very, very difficult.
I mean, you can make money. You just got to work underneath the table for something like that.
Right, yeah. Which I wouldn't have been opposed to. Like, still to this day, one of my bucket list things is I've always wanted to do an amateur night at, like, a male strip club or a gay bar, just for fun.
Let's
just
do
for
it.
fun.
Okay.
We'll have make it an enduraLAB.
Go out and do, like, a smooth criminal routine.
We'll come out and support you, man. We'll come out and support you, for sure.
Okay, but so what was the moment that you felt like, okay, I need to actually cut this off all the way cold turkey? Because I remember it.
Yeah.
Like,
I was beginning to have, so I still had really bad, I don't know if they're withdrawal symptoms or whatever, and I've spent hundreds of hours researching, but I kept having this, I would say, physiological symptoms where I would shake. Sometimes my eyes would twitch, and I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on neurologists, MRIs. I've seen hepatologists. I've seen endocrinologists. Like, I've done all the blood work, and it's basically contributed, I guess, because we've eliminated everything, was my excessive substance abuse. And so I noticed that...
Mio.
What's that?
Mio.
Or
Mio.
It could be Mio.
Yeah.
The jury's still out.
Still don't know. It could be Mio.
And so I basically got to the point to where I would go on vacation or have like a blowout weekend. And then my recovery, I would basically drink all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. And then Monday I'd have to take Xanax to calm me down. Tuesdays was like my only kind of like day where I was coherent. Or Tuesdays I was still kind of recovering. Wednesday and Thursday. So basically I'd have 3 days out of the week that I was like kind of normal. And then 4 days I was on something, feeling like shit, taking something, battling something, chasing something. And I just kind of did that for several years. It got to be a lot. I got to the point to where some of it was affecting my ability I couldn't take care of my wife. Like, I was thinking about it, I'm like, I'm not taking care of my kid. I'm not taking, like, to the best of my ability. They were taken care of, but it was like, I can do better.
Right.
And then I had a couple family members that had gotten diagnosed with cancer, and I was like, okay, one of them wanted me to, or not wanted me, but had asked that I help him, and he was coming in from out of town. So I would go to the oncology meetings with him. And those were, some days where it was like, those would be days that I would be on the couch. I wouldn't want to get up. I'd be taking a Xanax. Because when you do that, when you come off of a drinking binge and you take a Xanax, you don't care about anything. Like, you're just like, I just want to sleep, and I would sleep all day. And so it was one of those things, like, I can't be in that position. So I needed to be available, and I was like, well, I'm needed within the family, my family. There's other places for me to be, and I need to start putting my focus. Now, one of the things that most people don't talk about is that once I quit, I was in the airport at Kansas City with my wife. We were coming back from a vacation, or a baseball vacation. And I still felt like shit. And I looked at her and I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to quit. And she was like, what? I was like, I think I'm done. And she's like, she goes, if you want to, I'll support you. And I was like, yeah. I said, I think that I control this. Like, I'm controlling my own misery. Like, I'm putting myself in this situation. Right. And
that's great, taking ownership of it like
and
that.
I was like, this whole idea that I need that I need to feel like shit or not be present for more than 50% of my life, like, that's not doing anything. Like, I'm pissing away. Like, there's got to be something else. And she's like, okay. She's like, well, I support that. So I just put it down. I had a beer I had in my hand and slammed it. Done. Haven't touched it since. Haven't touched alcohol since. So we left. Well, that was in April of 2022. And then I remember, and this is one of those things that, and I've talked to some people about this, but I've seen it happen with celebrities, but a lot of people don't talk about it, is about 6 months later, I remember being in the car driving. I was feeling better gradually. And I had this impending, like, dread, like I didn't want to be here.
Like impending doom?
Well, not almost like suicidal.
Oh, wow.
And it hit me, and I called my wife. I was in the car, I pulled over, and I was like, I need to see a therapist. Like, I'm having really bad thoughts. I don't know where it's coming from. And so I actually talked to you. I think you gave me Lee's name, and then I ended up pivoting. But I was having really, really dark thoughts for like 2 or 3 months. And I don't know where it came from. And so I started doing research, and a lot of people, when they quit substance abuse, or when they pivot, once the high of stopping goes away, they crash. And there you see so many people, like I said, I've seen celebrities and stuff. They're like, he was sober for a year. He was sober for 6 months. And then all of a sudden you know what I mean? And so that bothered me because I've never really thought that way, and I couldn't help it, but it was just there. And so I've been in therapy ever since. It's, obviously helped. I've gotten over all that, but that's like something that I don't think enough people talk about that I've noticed is a trend in people that have substance abuse. And that's why I feel like, and I'm not a doctor, I'm not certified to say that, but I feel like that's why there's such a high, I wouldn't say attrition, but people that don't make it through recovery.
Yeah.
So, but that was it. And so I just started focusing. I started seeing more gains in the gym, started seeing eating better. Like, it was just little decisions. One of the things that I attribute my success, well, there's a lot of reasons, but I never took everything on at once. It was like, stop here, do that. Like, whether it was quitting smoking, and then it was like, okay, I'm going to, quitting drugs, quitting alcohol, eating better, not eating sugar 5 nights a week. And you have to tweak it. And I would make sure that I had that under control. And that's why I think my journey here has been so long, is because each year, and I think you guys are probably, each year I try to, what can I do better? What can I do better? And that's why you asked, why did it take you so long to drop the alcohol? And it's because I was getting rid of other things. Yeah. Stepping. If I had tried and just said, I'm going to quit everything, then I don't know that I would have had the success that I had.
Do you think that now, so before when you're having, the substance abuse issues, do you think that you were chasing or trying to find that high, you were looking for that high?
Yes.
But now, do you feel like you're finding that high within fitness and different avenues of fitness, whether it be like, hey, I really want to dial in my nutrition, or like you crushing the August, challenge that we had, man.
Oh my gosh.
But I mean, like you're seeing yourself like, okay, I was negatively chasing habits, but now it's like I am positively chasing these things and these new highs.
I think
you
so.
See a comparison there?
I've never come to terms with the fact that it was addictions. I've always thought I was very excessive. And so I've always been like all in or nothing. And so that's where I think that translates to. But I also know that my perspective may not be correct. Like, I understand that other people see that. Just because I frame something some way doesn't mean that I'm right. You know what I mean? So it could very well be.
But you're the individual going through it. I would think that you would know yourself a little better.
Like I said, there's also denial to a point, because I've always been like, I never had an addiction, even though I was doing these things, and I never had a problem when I was ready. Just like with anything else, when I'm done, I'm done, and I put it down and I don't look back. And my dad always says that's a superpower. He says, the fact that you're able to just do this, you never went to rehab, you just said I'm done. And he goes, you just put it down, and you mentally just shut it off. And I think some of that is I don't like being controlled. Whether that's, obviously being an entrepreneur, whether that's, I never liked girls controlling me when I was dating, things like that.
Yeah.
To have an inanimate object. Until I met Lacey.
Now you in control.
But I think that the thought of having an inanimate object control me, when I frame it that way, it's like, I don't like things to control me. Why am I going to let this control me? And it's just, it's more of a clarity issue and framing. And so, it may be an addiction thing. Maybe I'm addicted to the gym, or maybe.
I was going to say that I think there is a positive flip to it. Like
Yeah,
your
that's what I was trying
excessiveness,
to get.
it could go towards something positive. So like we had this meter challenge, Dog Days of Summer, and
Crushed it.
every week you increase your meters. So the first week is 20,000 meters, then 30 or 10, 20, 30, 40. So at the end you have 1,000, or oh my gosh, I can't do math. 100K.
in a month.
100,000 in a month.
100,000 meters
Right.
in a month.
Jay got 351,000. 51,000. Like he was biking or whatever for like 3 hours a day, right?
Yeah.
And that was a goal that we kind of put out there, and he latched onto it. And again, that is excessive.
Yeah.
But
I didn't think so. I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
but it's okay. It's okay to be excessive in the positive way. And I think we all have those addictions. I'm addicted to loving you.
Aww.
You know? You know what I'm saying? And so,
You know what I mean?
we all have our vices. And I think that's what, like you said, is to your kids working in a restaurant industry and stuff. Like I look at our children even, and I'm like, okay, I see a little bit of addiction on electronics, or there's little things that you need to train or like redirect,
Right.
so that you make sure that it goes to a positive, because those instincts are in you. I don't think that like you necessarily get rid of those.
Yeah.
You just redirect.
Yeah, human nature is very habit forming, and it is kind of addictive because people love routine. People like having the same things to eat, like doing the same things every single day. Like the routine of society is kind of addicting in its own nature, and that's just like what people and humans are used to. So I would agree with that. Yeah.
And I think surrounding yourself with the people, like you said, like you couldn't keep hanging out with who you were hanging out with before.
Right.
We had to change our scene. That's why like enduraLAB is a really good thing for, I think, anyone kind of recovering from substance abuse. You're going into a positive community. You're doing repetitive, like, you're going to come in and have a really great hour. You're going to get coached. You're going to see your community. You're going to feel stronger. You're going to feel better, right? So those are things that like consistently over time, I think will shift you out of that darkness, hopefully. It's like, I can't really say that, but but hopefully. And, that's what we strive to do.
It's the goal. Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to someone who's listening, who's in recovery or thinking about getting into recovery?
And what does recovery mean to you?
I think, and like I said, from my lens, it comes down to you wanting to do it. I think there's a lot of fluff, and I don't want to say there's money in it, because there's not. Like obviously there's money in rehab. AA, is free. I think it boils down to, like, if you cut all the fat off of it and you just break it down to its the simplest form, it's up to you. Like, you just have to either decide to do it or not. Like, you can throw everything in the world at it, but you just have to decide you're done. And so until you can do that, nothing else is going to work.
And so, you're basically saying it's like you have to make a decision. Is this a lifestyle that you want to continue?
Yes.
Or are you okay with the lifestyle that you have been living? You got to choose one of those, right?
Yes. I've had several people come to me over the past, 2 or 3 years, and they're like, how did you do it? Or I've had people that I know that have called me crying, like, I want to quit drinking. And I tell them the same thing. And, unfortunately they haven't pivoted from that, but a lot of people, like, I think, the one thing I hear from everybody is, well, if Jay can do it, I can do it. And so, you
are a motivation.
Yeah.
I mean, we stopped drinking, and I said in solidarity with you, I'm like, literally to go from the depth that you were.
Yeah.
And again, I don't think of myself as an excessive, but I do like to be in control.
Yeah.
But that was it's another thing that I can control in a positive way. Again, because there could be controlling things that are not positive. Right. So I think like that was one of the best things that we could have done. And so I thank you for that. You're inspiring in that way.
So, and I wish there was more. I've actually found I've enjoyed helping people with this, and I tell them, like, call me whenever you want, if you need me to walk you through something or just to talk, because, there are a lot of people that are harboring this depression or whatever. And they, for whatever reason, they've opened up to me about it. But I'm like, go get help or go do A, B, or C. But
what's interesting is that
it's up to them. Like, it's up to them at the end of the day. I can't make them.
You become the mentor.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, in AA, they just call it, he's a sponsor. Like, you're not like I would say undesignated sponsor in a way. Yeah.
I've had people call and ask me to be their sponsor. Yeah.
But when you first started, okay, so you're getting your MBA at TCU.
Right.
So remember when you got your first mentee and you're like, I do not know why someone is trusting me with this person.
And it was a girl.
It was a poor girl. Yeah. What was your advice? She was like, how do you start a family?
Yeah,
and you're like, don't.
I did. I said, don't have kids and get off social media. And she was like, sorry.
But I think at the end of that, you actually enjoyed mentoring her, and you opened up to mentor other people, I'm guessing. And then now even like helping people with this. So not only in school, but outside of school. And that's really cool, a shift that you made. And I think that's part of keeping you accountable too.
Yes.
So with that, like, what are other things that you're doing to make sure you kind of stay on this path? Because what's going to happen once you're done with your MBA?
I don't know. That's a good question. I knew that I wasn't going to find whatever purpose I was looking for on the couch playing video games. So that's why I went and did that. I don't know. I'm hoping to find somebody in that class or I'm hoping
Jay for president.
Yes.
Couldn't be worse than Jay.
I wouldn't mind doing politics. I thought about that, but I would get decimated. There's no way.
You would be decimated.
I feel like
I have a picture of me at an X party. I still have this picture. It's me and a buddy, and there's several people that have this picture. We went to Fredericks of Hollywood, and we bought Rudolph the Rain-Nosed or whatever. And it was Rudolph, and there's a picture of me and him, and it's just Rudolph, and we're like this smiling, and there's so many of those pictures out there that I'd get destroyed. I would embrace it. I almost to a point would be like, you know what? Maybe that would be endearing because hey,
be relatable.
It makes you relatable to people, and I feel like nowadays, I feel like you being relatable and just being able to be a great personality will get you elected in a lot of different ways. You just say what the people want to hear, like you can get elected.
So
I just don't think it's a good idea.
What's that?
Hey, Jay, I'd vote for you. Yeah, I'd vote for you, man.
There's 3 votes here.
There you go. We'll start small. We'll do like some like Fort Worth City Council or something.
That's right.
And then we'll kind of move up from there.
That's right. Yeah. So, but we'll see what's next. I don't know. All
right, well, Jay, thanks for sharing your story, man, and your panda-worthy humor. As always, you're a huge part of what makes the lab community so special. And from a coaching perspective, it's been so much fun to watch you mature as an athlete, right? So, and now you kind of are a mentor to other athletes coming in. So it's been awesome.
And when athletes get a PR, I guess they get to like slap his beaker on his butt.
Oh, yeah.
Not only do we have a bell now, we have a,
we got a beaker slap.
Yeah. Tattoo slap.
And I was going to say, Jay, like I've only known you for several weeks, man, but it's been a pleasure getting to know you and kind of hearing your story and everything. And I've told Leah and Isis, like I've had, several friends have drug addictions or they've passed away because of overdoses and over the past like 10 years. So just kind of being in this space and, that was something that kind of helped me kind of, I won't say be on the straight and narrow, but just kind of try to live a better life. And then hearing your story definitely gives me inspiration, man.
Awesome. Thank you.
And we love you so much, Jay. Thank
you
for being a part of the lab. What are we going to do for your 20th?
Oh,
we're going to
talk about it later.
I don't know if we can.
We should take
that offline. I'll get another tattoo, but it'll be elephant ears.
This was a very positive conversation. We don't want to have any setbacks. We'll worry about that later.
I was going to say piercing.
Done. Get
a
Jacob's ladder.
People are going to be like, Yes. Thanks so much for listening today. If you've enjoyed this podcast, we'd love if you left us a review on iTunes or Spotify. That would really help us out. If you'd like to interact with us, the best way to do that is on Instagram. We are at enduraLAB. Until next time, keep moving
Eat well.
and stay strong.
Peace.